fathers. When I was 8 years old, my father started molesting me. By the time I was 10, he started raping me. And by the time I was 12, he deemed me his sex slave. At 15 years old, I got pregnant with my first child for him. And over the years, I have given birth to 4 children fathered by him.
RABBLE RABBLE SHOW, I got chat to them, I made them chat for it. Rabble Rabble, you don't know say the one and only NASH-I Rabble Danger. And on this platform, we do things different. Rabble Rabble.
I'm going to introduce myself. My name is I recently was featured on an episode of Evil Lives Here called The Other Woman, and it highlighted my experience being sexually abused and physically abused and even emotionally and spiritually abused by my father, MTV award-winning director Aswada Yinde. He directed the Fuji's Killing Me Softly video, some of their other videos too, but he is now serving 90 years in prison. So I've gotten a lot of questions, and rather than try to do a whole entire long video, I'm going to do a video answering questions one by one. Okay.
What a terrible predicament to put a young girl in, starting at age 8. It must have been so confusing for you.
It was very confusing. I didn't know. I was doing what my parents told me to do. And I was obedient. I did everything that my parents said, even around the house with taking care of my siblings, and this was one extra thing. So initially, it didn't really register as something that was wrong.
Felt like a chore almost?
Yeah, it felt like a chore, exactly. And we wasn't allowed to watch regular television, mostly just educational TV. So there wasn't really a comparison. I didn't really have anybody to ask, well, is this what your family is doing? This is what your dad does? And
you had absolutely no frame of reference.
Not really. You watch the show, there are a lot of polls. Not every question is answered, obviously. Not every question is answered in my book. Not every question is answered in my blog. It's just so much when you have lived this type of life for as long as I have lived it, days and days and days and days and days and incidents. There's so much. So no, there was a point between the ages of 10 and 15, I could not stand my mother. She, as far as I was concerned, was just as bad as my father. She did not help me in a lot of cases. There were certain things that she did and said that made my life even more of a living hell. I would confide in her, and she would go and tell my father, and I would be punished by him for that. And punishment was not good at all. But I chose to forgive her. So into my adulthood, especially after we escaped my father, I chose to build a relationship with her. Now it's a little different. After my brother died, that changed a lot in my family, and it definitely had an impact on my relationship with my mother. So I think a lot of things were brought to the forefront, some issues that were not addressed, and so there's definitely, we're on some rocky ground right now, but I still wish her the best, all the best for my entire family. And we are spiritual beings having human experiences, and we are far from perfect. So I say, as long as you're learning and growing, then you're good with me. If you're stagnant, then that's another issue. Let's see, have your siblings been able to overcome things as well as it appears you have? That would be a hard question to answer. As a survivor of abuse, we all heal differently. I don't really speak about my siblings and their experience because they have chosen a different path than I have. They have decided to remain anonymous and not speak about the things that happen in our family. So I will respect their wishes because we all heal differently. I can attest to you that raising awareness and helping others contributes to my healing. But I know that because I've experienced that. So I just wanted to say, you know, I hypothesized it at one point, but they just chose a different way. So I still love them, and you probably run into them one day. Who knows? But do you have a belief and faith in God after all this? Yes, yes, and yes. I say that not only do I believe in God, but I know God. I'm not religious. You know, I don't follow Christianity or Catholicism or Buddhism. I believe that there is truth in all religions, and religion is an attempt based on culture to interact with the divine. So depending on which culture that you're from, however you were brought up, whatever the history of your peoples were, you create what was created in that society was a set of rules and bylaws to interact with a greater power. So, you know, Christians believe in Jesus Christ and the Trinity. Buddhism believes in samsara and nirvana and dharma and karma, and Confucianism is focused on the hierarchy in a family and doing good and helping others. I think that if you take all religions and take the best parts of each one, then you would probably have an ideal way to interact with the divine. I do believe in God. I know God, as I said before. I have since I was a very little girl. And paradoxically, it was my father who taught me about God. So I guess, you know, I had no other choice in that matter, being that he and my mom were the ones that raised me and taught me most of everything that I know up to a certain age. But through my dreams and my own human experience, I believe that I have made contact with divine in my own way that I'm sure a lot of people do. Maybe they just don't recognize it. But one incident I speak about in my book, and I believe that if you want to make any change in the world, everyone has to contribute. And the statistics are so high, honestly. Everyone has been affected by sexual assault or child abuse. When you have something that says 1 in 4 women have been molested as a child, but that's only based on what's reported. There are so many out there that have not reported anything.
Rabble, no fear for tell them say you hear it, so remember to like, share and subscribe. Straight Rabble.